A very good afternoon to all the students who are present today for the online lecture of third year BCom semester 5 for the subject management. I warmly welcome one and all. Now I hope that you have been attending the previous lectures of management, so you are aware that we have discussed and completed the first unit of management, that is risk management. You are also aware about the different contents we have discussed for the same. You have understood the meaning of risk, the difference between risk and uncertainty, the business risk and the financial risk, the nature of risk, the different factors that causes a risk to occur, the kinds or the types of business risk. And in the previous lecture, we discussed all about risk management, steps that can be taken to minimize the risk, and how the risk can be transferred. So I hope that you are clear with the first unit. But before we move on with the second unit, that is knowledge management, I would first make you revise the three topics we have done in the previous lecture. As we always do, I would give you a quick recap of the same. And then there is a small quiz also in the lecture that you shall be answering, which would test your understanding about Unit 1. I would also be sharing with you the notes for the first unit, risk management, in the Google Classroom. So you all may refer and learn the same. So in the previous class, we have discussed about risk management as to how precautionary steps can be taken in advance to reduce or to curb the risk that may arise in future. We have discussed about different steps that helps minimize or reduce the risk. There were some 8 steps we had discussed. So one by one, I would give you a quick recap of it. The first step that a business enterprise may take to reduce the risk is nothing but a market research. Whenever there is a new business being set up or an existing business is launching a new product, it should have a good survey and a research done about its market. Could be the research about the target market, could be about the demand of products, could be about the customers and their taste and preferences. Also, they can keep an eye, a watch on the competitors' strategies, their cost, their selling price, their quality, and whatnot. So, based on a good market research, the risk can be reduced to a great extent. Secondly, they may experiment with some new techniques. When I say new technique, it could be a new technique of production, could be a new technique of selling and distribution, could also be a new machinery that is introduced. So business enterprise also needs to change and bring about new techniques with the changing business environment. It will not only make the things easier and faster, but will also help to reduce the risk. The business in no case can get obsolete. Thirdly, in order to reduce the risk of competition, a business enterprise has to work for effective advertisement as well. The business should show and create such an image about the product that it is superior as compared to the products of the rivals or as compared to the substitutes. And such an image or the customer loyalty can only be achieved if there is an effective advertisement. The business can also work for effective management for the sale of goods so that it can compete with others and thereby help to minimize the risk. A very important step would be taking insurance. So a business enterprise should take insurance of the goods, of the inventory, could be of the machinery, could be of the premises, could also be of a key personnel who is working in the organization. Because even as customers, they prefer the goods with warranty or with insurance because they have a tendency that if the product comes with an insurance or comes with a warranty, it is of a superior quality. Next, they can work for a safe and a hygienic infrastructure that is not dangerous, that is not hazardous, but it is safe to work there. So it will reduce the risk. Also, there has to be effective communication. This was an internal factor which we had talked about, which can create the risk, because there should not be any form of misunderstanding or misinterpretation of information, for which there has to be effective communication between all the levels of management. Even there has to be interdepartmental communication being effective. And lastly, we also discussed about how advice can be sought and taken from the experts. Their guidance, their suggestions can be taken, which could help the business enterprise take correct decisions, because a faulty decision would impact the failure of the enterprise in the long run. So these were all the steps we discussed. Lastly, in the lecture, we had also discussed a topic on risk transfer, as to how the risk can be transferred from one's shoulder to the shoulders of insurance company, where we discussed the 4 key potential risk treatments, namely to avoid the risk, reduce the risk, accept the risk, and transfer the risk. So I hope that you are clear with the topic, with the first unit. So as I said, before we move on with unit number 2, a very small quiz has been put up which would test your knowledge and understanding about unit 1. So you may read the question, try to answer the same, and then I would be showing you the correct answers as well. So the first question for you, my dear students, the possibility of loss or something bad happening is called. What is the possibility of a loss to occur known as? So yes, it is known as risk. Question number 2 for you. A situation where the future events are not known is called. When the events and the outcomes both are uncertain, which is this situation known as? So the correct answer is uncertainty. Question number 3 for you. Risk arising due to the use of debt finance in the capital structure is. What is the risk which will arise from the use of debt funds, or what we call as borrowed funds? So the risk is financial risk. Few more questions for you. Now these are questions pertaining to the different types of business risk that you have studied. I hope you are able to answer them. The risk that those who owe you money fail to pay is called. Which is this risk which is associated with the failure of receiving the money? So it is the credit risk. Number 5, risk arising due to change in fashion or the change in the taste preferences of customers is an example of which risk? It is an example of a certain risk which is created due to changing fashions, trends, or customers' taste and preferences. So it is the social risk. And the last question for you, the 4 key potential risk treatments are. We have just discussed it today, so I hope you know them. So which are the 4 risk treatments? They are avoidance, reduction, transfer, and acceptance. So I hope that you were able to answer all the questions correctly. It was just a short quiz to test your knowledge for Unit 1. You will definitely have to prepare the unit, learn all the topics for which you shall be getting the notes in the Google Classroom. On this note, let us begin with the second unit of management, that is knowledge management. So we would begin with the basic discussion on knowledge and knowledge management today. Before that, I would first give you a view of all the contents that has to be covered for unit number 2. So of course, we shall be talking about the introduction as to what do you mean by knowledge, what are the different forms or the types of knowledge. You have to understand the meaning of knowledge management, that is the name of the unit itself. Transition from information value to knowledge value, because information and knowledge again are not synonymous. There is a thin line of difference between information and knowledge. The goals, or I can say the purpose, objectives of knowledge management, the features of knowledge management or the characteristics. You also have to study on facilitating knowledge management, the methods of acquiring the knowledge, how can one acquire knowledge, the process of knowledge management, value of knowledge management, very importantly, the benefits of knowledge management, how it can be implemented, and lastly, how knowledge management can be aligned with the intellectual capital. So these are all the different topics, contents that has to be covered for unit number 2, out of which the focus for today's lecture shall be to give you a quick introduction about knowledge, the different forms of knowledge or what are the different types of knowledge, and thirdly, we would also discuss the meaning of knowledge management. So without any further discussion, let us begin the topics for today. So the first topic that we have to discuss for unit number 2 is knowledge. Of course, the unit says knowledge management, but to understand management of knowledge, you have to first understand the meaning of knowledge. So I would like to ask you first, when you hear the term knowledge, the word knowledge, what is the first thing that is coming in your mind? What is the essence? What is the meaning, the generic meaning of knowledge? So did you get any answers? Knowledge can be simply defined as the understanding. It could be any sort of awareness about several things. It could be a piece of information that you know. It could be a fact. It could be some event, some sort of a theory, a principle, a situation, a circumstance, could also be a system, could be a process, and whatnot. So, the mental awareness or the understanding you hold for different things altogether comprises to be knowledge. I can say that knowledge and its utilization is of utmost importance. And if I talk from the organizational point of view, knowledge is considered to be the most valuable asset also for the organization. Because with proper utilization of knowledge, only can you take the decisions correctly. You can take the correct decision. You can solve different problems that may arise in the organization and thereby improvising the organizational performance. So knowledge and its utilization is of prime importance in an organization. I can say that we are living in a very globally challenged environment. It is filled with competition. And when an organization wants to achieve that edge of competition, wants to survive in this competitive environment, knowledge and its maximum utilization is of utmost important. So before we move on with knowledge management, let us first understand the meaning, the basic essence of knowledge. So the concept of knowledge, as I said, it is the mental status of an individual, awareness of some truth, facts, theory, principles, events, situation, model, system, and whatnot. Basically, an understanding of an individual or group of individuals about several things. When you know something, when you are aware about something, you understand something, it becomes knowledge. For an organization, it is a valuable asset, and if managed efficiently or if utilized efficiently, it will increase the organizational performance and help reap sustainable competitive advantage. As I said, the business is operating in a globally competitive environment. So it needs to make the most of the knowledge in the organization. Then only can it take the correct decisions, solve all the different sort of problems correctly, and also have enhanced performance. Not only an organization, but I can say that knowledge plays a key role even in the personal career development of an individual. Of course, the organization develops, but it also plays an important role in the overall economic development of the country. As I said, it is a valuable asset, so it is stored in the brain of employees, could also be stored in the form of processes, documents, products, systems, etc. in the organization. Knowledge is also known as the center of human civilization. You have heard about several ages that the human beings or the civilization has passed through. It could be the Stone Age that you have heard, the agricultural age, the industrial age, but we can say that today we are on the threshold of knowledge age, and knowledge is at the center of human civilization. That goes without saying how much it is important. So it is the result of learning, helps in developing or creating innovations. It helps you gain expertise, develop special relationships. It will add value to your behavior and activities that will increase profitability and improve the position of organization. Even when you as an individual, you gain knowledge because it is a never ending process. But as and when you gain knowledge, you improvise. Your behavior improvises and adds value to it. The decisions that you take are more towards correct way rather than taking incorrect decisions. You solve the problems efficiently. Your performance develops. And so is the case even with an organization. When organization has adequate knowledge, and makes the maximum utilization of it, it can not only survive in this competitive era, but can also have improved performance. So after having understood the meaning of knowledge, I think we can move further to discuss different forms or types of knowledge. So there are some 8 types that you can see we shall be discussing. The first of which is implicit knowledge. Now, what do you mean by implicit knowledge? It is basically the knowledge that a person gains from his experience. It could be the personal experience, life experience, the working life experience, but it is something that is intangible or invisible. You cannot see that knowledge, you cannot touch the knowledge, meaning to say it is not stored somewhere. It is not a knowledge that is documented somewhere in the organization. But this is the self knowledge a person has gained through his own life or work experiences, maybe through his personal contacts, which he has gained and developed over a period of time. Number 2 that you see, it is the explicit knowledge. When I say explicit knowledge, it is more of an opposite to implicit knowledge because it is something which is not implied. It is very clear codified and recorded. Maybe it is recorded in form of documents or stored in some storage systems, but it can be documented. It is something that can be known to the public, available to every person. Number three, it is the adaptive knowledge. When I say adaptive knowledge, it is the knowledge which is helping the organization to be adaptive to the changing business environment. Now, I have talked about it quite a lot, that we are living in an environment which is constantly changing. It could be change in technology, it could be change in the economic conditions, could be the social factor, could be the legal factor, could be the political factor as well. So there are a number of factors creating change in the business environment. So the knowledge that would help us adapt to those changes is the adaptive knowledge. Because if a business organization does not change with the changing business environment, it would definitely become obsolete and ultimately won't be able to survive. So even this is very important. Number four, it is the creative knowledge. So definitely creative means to create something new. So this is the knowledge which is helping to create. It could be creating a new product, creating a new design, introducing a new technology, maybe creating a new model. So this kind of knowledge which helps to create something new, bring up some innovations, it is the creative knowledge. Number five that you see, it talks on individual knowledge. Now, number five and number six are very easy, and you can get the meaning from the name itself. The knowledge that is possessed by a single individual, a single person, it is the individual knowledge. You, as an individual, the knowledge that you possess would be an individual knowledge. But if I group all of you, I include all of you into one team. So the knowledge that you hold collectively as a team or as a group, it becomes the collective group or the team knowledge. For example, in an organization, when the employees are grouped in one team, if they possess some knowledge collectively, it becomes the group knowledge. We move to number seven, that talks on the organizational knowledge. So, organizational knowledge is basically the transformation of the individual employee knowledge into the organizational knowledge. It is basically to align or to transform, to convert the individual knowledge into the organizational knowledge, and how it can help an organization reap the competitive benefits. In order to survive in this competitive environment and to adapt to the same, this knowledge would be helping the organization. And lastly, it is the spiritual knowledge, that is to say, the knowledge explaining the relationships between human body, mind, intelligence, soul, God, etc. So, something towards the spiritual area, it is spiritual knowledge. I hope that you are clear with what do you mean by knowledge and the different forms of knowledge. If yes, so then we begin with the third topic, probably the last topic for today, that talks on knowledge management. Now, students, up till now, I have discussed with you the meaning of knowledge. At that time, I told you that knowledge is the understanding, the awareness of something. Could be a fact, could be a piece of information, could be a system, could be a situation, and whatnot. But the same knowledge, when is utilized maximum or it is utilized optimally, it can be very helpful for the personal career development, or let us say the business development, and also the economic development as a whole. I told you that the business is operating in ever changing competitive environment, and it wants to survive, it wants to reach to that competitive edge. which can only be done when it makes the maximum use of knowledge. It wants to take improved decisions, wants to solve the problems correctly, wants to survive in this competitive environment, wants to enhance its organizational performance. So it requires the maximum utilization of the knowledge. And for maximum utilization, what is required is nothing but knowledge management. So to explain you knowledge management in a nutshell, it is nothing but acquiring the knowledge, also retaining the knowledge, that is to say, storing the knowledge, and making the maximum utilization of knowledge so that a business can reap the competitive benefits, can survive in this competitive environment, and get enhanced organizational performance. So let us understand the meaning of it. According to Brian Newman, knowledge management, as I said, is the collection of processes that governs the creation, that is to say, to create or to acquire, dissemination, that is to say, distribution, and utilization of knowledge. In simplified form, you can say that it is acquiring, storing, and utilizing the knowledge so that you can help solve the problems, also take the correct decisions, and enhancing the organizational performance. You are mapping, acquiring, storing, disseminating, and utilizing the knowledge for the achievement of sustainable competitive advantage, improved organizational performance, problem solving, and matured decision making. I hope that you are clear with the meaning of knowledge management. As I said, maximum utilization or management of knowledge is very much essential. It is the valuable asset for any business organization. When you have knowledge and you are able to maximum utilize it, optimally utilize it, it would help you take the correct decisions. It would help you solve the problems, would help enhance the organizational performance, and thereby survive in the competitive environment. So this was all about knowledge management. In the next lecture, I would be starting with the goals and with the features of knowledge management. A quick recap of what you have done today. You have understood the meaning of knowledge management. You understood different forms of knowledge. You can have a quick look at it. You have understood the concept of knowledge as to what do we mean by knowledge. So I hope that you are clear with the topics we discussed today, the meaning of knowledge, the meaning of knowledge management, and the different forms of knowledge. If you still have any doubts, any queries, you can always put them in the Google Classroom and I shall be answering to them at the earliest. See you soon in the next lecture where we shall discuss knowledge management in detail. Thank you so much for the day. Until then, happy learning.